division is doing special. Nobody's repeated in this division for 20 years, right? Y'all should be proud of that, right? You don't do special unless you got the men in this room, the talent that we have, and that we play with great detail, and that we do that together, all right? And we got a lot more to go.
Nick Sirianni and the Eagles are back-to-back division champs. The first time it's happened in NFC East in over 20 years. Welcome into Birds Huddle presented by Toyota. I'm Barrett Brooks with Jason Devine here. Back-to-back division champs. That's not easy, bro.
It wasn't easy at all. He forgot that this is children's television
right
here. So, but I will say this is that it hadn't been easy, and it's a great accomplishment by the Philadelphia Eagles and the organization, the staff. Everyone's doing a great job. It's like abstract art this season in particular. Some people love it, some people don't, but at the end of the day, it is art, and they are still winning, and they won a division title.
Oh, no, 10 wins this season. You know, to me, I don't care what you do. All you got to do is win. Win by 1 point. It does not matter. That's what I'm saying, you know. But also, the Eagles could get Jalen Carter back and Lane Johnson this week. Nick Sirianni spoke about this today and the idea of resting players once they get it seed locked up in the NFC. This is our Fresh Bites presented by Acme.
Every guy's a little different. Every scenario is a little different. You know, there's a time where you know, like last year, you know, we had rested guys, but Dallas Goedert was just coming back in that last game against the Giants, and he came back in. We got him some early touches, and you know that was good for him. You know, every situation's a little bit different. Every injury's a little bit different. Every guy's a little bit different. So, yeah, just always trying to do what's best for the guy and their health first and foremost.
That brings us to our three-point stance presented by Toyota. First stance. Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts, they just got to keep winning. Period. Yeah. Just keep winning, man.
Yeah, they have to keep winning, and they're doing a great job at it over these years, right? So those two together combine the highest win percentage in the NFL, and they are great together. Nick Sirianni has his fiery side. Jalen has a mild demeanor, but Nick Sirianni will not throw his players under the bus, and these players play really hard for him because he connects with them. And Jalen Hurts has the ability to shake off bad games, shake off negative media, and keep it even keel. And I just think they're a match made in heaven, perfect for the city of Philadelphia, with all of the nuance and all of the fanfare, all of the distractions. These two dudes are built for this.
Well, let me ask you this. How do they correlate between Big Red and Five, Donovan?
Well, two totally different personalities. I think that Nick Sirianni has like the youthful energy and is more like a player's coach than Big Red was. And I think Jalen is more serious than Donovan, and I think the fans can connect with that a little bit more. So both those guys were great. They just did it in a different way. But no one can deny the fact that these are Super Bowl champions, and it has the Eagles at the precipice of being one of the best teams of this decade if they go out and win another Super Bowl. And they, over the last 7-10 years, who's been better?
You're right, man. You know, they probably opposites, you know, Big Red, Nick, you know, Red is player's coach, you know, a stern coach. You know, I get it. You know, I play with all of them too. But, you know, guys like that also. When I look at it, when you have a guy that's quiet as Jalen and focuses Jalen, you kind of need somebody, you know, that can kind of get things out a little more, you know, have that fiery presence. So I think that is a good mixture for both guys, you know, yin and yang, you know, and it keeps them kind of level-headed going forward, you know. So, all right, our second stance. Saquon Barkley looks like himself again. Yeah. Running hard. I mean, you said it earlier. He wasn't the same guy. He wasn't running the way he was before. Yeah. You pointed it out.
Yeah, now we're looking at Saquads again. Saquon Barkley refusing to go down. That's the Saquon Barkley that we know. When he had the touchdown run against the Commanders this past weekend, I said, where has this guy been? Making 6-7 defenders miss their tackle and refusing to go down. He's finishing runs. He's finishing angry. He's doing special things on his long touchdown, or not touchdown, his long run of 48 yards. he was able to make a guy miss in the backfield. We're used to Saquon being a difference maker, a playmaker, somebody that goes above and beyond. When the play should be dead, he makes the special play, and that's what we're seeing from Saquon.
I think he had a conversation with his coach, Coach Singleton. Coach Singleton said, hey, I need you to run like you 235 pounds. And he took it literally. He took it serious, running through guys, finishing plays. And that was a big thing, you talked and you voiced your opinion on. He didn't finish plays like he was, A little DB coming up and hitting him, come on, that never happened before. But once you start getting it going, I think he has that in him now. All right, I'm going to finish every single play. And it worked, just like with the touchdown. He ran through 6 blocks, 6 tacklers, 6, and just kept going, kept them quads rolling. And that's what you need. And the offensive line feeds off stuff like that. The offense feeds off that, and the defense also. They see that happening, it takes their enthusiasm to another level. So I think that we needed to see that, and it kind of helped them in their maturation of getting to that next level again. We need to play at that level for the entirety of the season now. So I'm looking forward to that. Point number 3, the Eagles can win the Super Bowl. I'm telling you this. I know, where this is my stance.
You stance. You do this stance here.
Exactly. Yes, the Eagles can win a Super Bowl. The parity in the NFC is so not weak, but it's kind of on the same level. You look at it. All these teams are within, 2 games of each other. And I just think that when you look at a team like the Seattle Seahawks, who barely beat L.A., you look at, a person in their division, San Fran, same record, 10-4. Well, they're 10-4, we're 10-5. I just think that we've beaten 3 of those teams already. Well, 2 of those teams already. No, 3 that are up there. 3 of those teams, 4 of those teams already. The Giants, they beat the Lions, Tampa, L.A., and the Packers. Yep. So, we do have enough to beat them. And if any of those guys go in a championship game, I see us beating anybody on that list.
Well, so that's a very, very, bear-like take right there. You're going to go Eagles for sure. I will say that the Eagles have the ingredients to be better than any of these teams and beat the teams, on any given Sunday. I will say that because, like you said, there's parity in the NFL, and there's no dominant team like the 2024 Eagles. There's no team like that this year.
Right.
So the Eagles can the Eagles offense score enough points in the playoffs when you have a Matthew Stafford out there, when you have a Darnold down there in JSN? Will they be able to stand up to those types of offenses when your defense can't do it? When they give up 30 points, can our offense go out there and score 34? I don't know, Barrett.
We got AJ, we got Smitty, we got some guys who can go out there with the offensive firepower to do it. Now, can they do it consistently? I need to see it consistent. Just like you said, we're going against a Bills team that they have a great offense, but the defense is kind of lacking. So we should have a leg up on their defense. We should beat their defense into submission. But can our defense stop Cook, who's leading the NFL in rushing? He's up to the tops of the NFL in rushing. You have Allen, who can play his way out of anything. I just think, we're right on the precipice right now seeing where we really are.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Well, we can go forward with that. All right, then, good. We can win the Super Bowl. All right, time for the playbook presented by Supercuts. We're going to rank the Eagles' best defensive performers on the other side. Plus, we look ahead to the Bills game this week. And is the push done? Stick with us. All right, back with Stock Up, Stock Down, presented by Philliport, a stock up for the Eagles defense. They've allowed just 15 points per game since the bye week. And they racked up 21 sacks, 11 takeaways. And after the win on Saturday, John Clark spoke with the big guy, Jordan Davis.
As you were coming off the field, we saw you yelling, 20 years. 20 years. How did you know that it's been 20 plus years since there's been repeat champs in this division?
Well, it's been, chirps all over the building. And, I think it's just a little motivation. Obviously that's not the whole story, but to be able to do something special that hasn't been done in 20 years, to be a part of it as young as we are, I think that's pretty cool.
You're playing your best football so far in your career. How have you gotten to this level? What have you done to get to this point?
A lot of soul searching and understanding what I want for myself. And, the team wanted me to be more and play more and be capable of more. And, ultimately it was on me to make that decision and flip that switch and, work at it. And I always say Rome isn't built in a day. It took years of work to get to this point, but now it's finally at a point where it clicks and I'm consistent at it. and I understand, and I love where I'm at. I love my body. I love where I'm at. I love the way that I'm playing. I love the way that I'm moving. I'm breathing different. I'm living different. And, you know, it's just all that just factors in. It just motivates me to just be a better player and be a better person and just keep claiming it. Keep claiming it. Have an impact.
Time to turn to your expert presented by Carrier. Jason, how impressed have you been with Jordan Davis this season?
Well, Jordan Davis has been a baller. Do you know he is 5th in the NFL for defensive linemen, for tackles? He is balling, getting tackles for loss, and he's been the one that has stopped the running game, pretty much, him and Kobe Dean. I would say he's playing at a really high level, so I love Jordan Davis. He should definitely be in a Pro Bowl running. Absolutely.
You know, you look at his measurables right there. I mean, he's 6'5", 330 pounds, and yet he's playing like he's a smaller guy. Look, 65 tackles, 9 tackles for loss. I mean, those are things you usually get from defensive ends and things of that nature. I love the fact he's playing more aggressive, and he's showing quickness that he hadn't shown in years past. He's throwing guys down. He's bullying guys. I think he's taking that next level, not because necessarily it's a contract year, because he's got that 5th-year option. They gave him his 5th-year option. But I think it's more so that he's demanding more of himself. He stayed in shape. You know, even though it was cold outside. When it's cold outside, as an offensive lineman, defensive lineman, you usually put a little bit of extra coat on you know what I'm saying, a couple more LBs. He stayed down. He stayed explosive. He's shown me that, you know, he's ready to take it to the next level. And I tell you what, between him and Carter, I mean, he's doing his thing right now. The Georgia boys are doing it.
Yeah, Jordan Davis is playing at a really high level. Won us a game with the Chargers. Not Chargers, but the Rams. Won us a game.
Oh, yeah.
Block kick. Special teams value as well.
Well, you know, at this point, you know, we had you ranked the top defensive performers, you know.
Okay.
When you look at it, I was surprised you went with your guy, you know, a DB first on this play. So when you look at, I'm thinking that I would go with Quinyon first. You going to the defensive side of the ball first?
Yeah, so if I'm going to go top performers, I'm going to go with Quinyon, and it's not even close to me when it comes to this. Quinyon, since 2018, no one has had a lower catching percentage, right? So catch rate, 41.6. It's even going down. The next guy is Derek Stingley. Derek Stingley at 61.4.
The highest paid corner.
That's the highest paid corner. He is 2nd when it comes to separation, 3rd when it comes to yak. This dude is killing it. And guess what? No one's afraid of him because he doesn't intercept the ball. So he has 77 targets. Only 6 DBs in the NFL have more targets than he does. So people are throwing at him, but they still can't get completions. This dude not only is the best player on our team, he should be the defensive MVP. If he had 4 picks, he would be by far the defensive MVP.
Then you go with my top pick next. You know, I'm going to say Jordan Davis. To me, he's more of a guy that you can look to as far as being the anchor of the defense. But you're right, you know, he's your number 2 guy. I like the way this defense is going to the young guys that we're talking about. Look at my list. We got Jordan Davis, number 1. Why? Because he's the center of everything. He's in the trenches. He's making things happen. He stopped that run game in the second half, especially when Kobe left the game. He was beating guys up front. He was, you know, hitting the double team, pressing guys back. It's because of him that I think that this defense is really taking a step in the right direction, because he's been able to stop the run and keep our linebackers from getting covered up. I'm going to go Quinyon next. I think Quinyon, you're absolutely right. He can make some things happen. Then I'm going to go Cooper DeJean. I think Cooper's one of those guys that, you know, he's a versatile player. You know, he can be up in the line of scrimmage and be a guy that can be tackled at the line of scrimmage. But he can also go back into safety position, cover wide receivers out there. And then, you know, I mean, of course, you know, Kobe Dean, the run stopper, he's made some things happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know he was on your list too. But then a guy you didn't go with, Moro Jomo. I think Moro's one of those guys that unsung hero. He was leading the team in sacks, but his ability to go out there and do it, not just be a guy that rushes the passer, but also get penetration and kind of mess up all the, you know, the blocking schemes that offenses are trying to do to him. You know, that's a big thing right there. His ability to go out there, diagnose things, get up the field, and be an impact player.
Yeah, 2 guys a guy that you don't see on this list for neither one of us, which is kind of concerning. We need more of him once he gets back from injury, Jalen Carter.
Right.
Jalen Carter is the guy that's supposed to be by far the best player on our defense. And maybe because of injury, he is not at that level. I will give a shout out to Zach Bond. Zach Bond is so consistent and plays so well that sometimes we forget how good he is. At times, Barrett leaving him off the list. I don't know what's up with Barrett right there. But Zach Bond, I see you. I know what you're doing. Still making plays.
Yeah, sometimes there's no such thing as being mediocre at linebacker. But when you're a linebacker and his numbers are up there, I should have put him on the list. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.